Doctor Who Series 14, or Series 1, has almost come to a close or has already finished depending on how lazy I am. I greatly enjoyed this adventure with Ruby and 15, no doubt, but I've got a mini issue. They got the episode order all wrong. Now, to be clear, how the series released is overall fine, but looking on Twitter occasionally, I've seen some complaints about how this series has been structured and the episode order itself, and because I've nothing better to do in my life, I thought it would be fun to rearrange the order and see if we could craft a structurally stronger season. So stick around to see if you despise all my ideas, or if we have a little bit in common. If you're new to the channel, check out our previous Doctor Who reviews and theories on where the show could go, and subscribe for more overall nerdy content. Rogue. How you start your season is important. It's what's going to grip new and old audiences to come. How you start Doctor Who season is even more important. A series rebrand, restarting the numbering system, you gotta let them know what Doctor Who is, which is why I'm starting with Rogue. To be honest, the first episode is The Church from Ruby Road, which allows us to skip the normal introductions of the Doctor and Ruby and just get into a great Who adventure. That is what Rogue is. It feels like a classic modern Who episode with aliens, drama, great supporting characters, and a true moment for the Doctor to shine. For fans of old, this episode feels comfortable, eases you in. For first comers, it will have the same effect. But you also got your guest star to lead the way. Rogue also takes inspiration from Bridgerton, a popular show. It feels like it's a strong opener when compared to Space Babies. There's more silly fun, I would say, for later when audience have developed a level of trust with you. Opening with talking babies and a creature made out of boogers just felt off, which is probably why they did a double drop. From a character point, you also learn about this new Doctor. He's more flirtatious and outgoing. You see that vulnerable side he would continuously display. Doesn't do too much for Ruby, but Rogue as our first episode fixes an issue I had with the episode itself. That being the Carla flashback, where the Doctor promises to keep Ruby safe. Having that in episode 6 felt a little cheap. It felt like a scene meant for the start of the season. So let's put it there. Having it earlier starts the thread of the Doctor keeping Ruby close. As this is really the only episode where they sort of separate on purpose, this near-death experience can be a reminder for the Doctor of their promise to a mother, their duty of care. I honestly think this strengthens the season as a whole, starting that dread that Ruby will never be safe. You don't have to worry about the snow stuff, and the Susan Twist appearance is minor as well, not overloading your audience. Rogue is just a nice starting point. 73 yards. Episode 2 will be our first Doctor Light story, which might feel too early, but I feel Rogue was a good enough introduction to this Doctor. We now need to explore the character of Ruby Sunday. This episode will also highlight how experimental the season is in the genres that it explores. I feel 70 yards also works well with the idea of Ruby leaving the Doctor behind so easily. The duo didn't really travel together, so maybe to Ruby this is just what they're like. Also, Unit taking a while to find her as she was barely a companion works as well. Most importantly, we start to explore her abandonment issues, how being alone affects her, if it even does, and on top of all that, discover her abilities when the Doctor isn't around to save the day. She proved she was capable when she rearranged that trawler's beak, but this time the Doctor's not coming back. What will they do? You also get your first subtle snowfall, and Ruby has that slight recognition of Susan. From a character standpoint, it works well, and from the structure of the season, you've learned about the Doctor, and now you've got to know about the companion. Let's get this season started. Last point, I wouldn't do the double drop like they did with Space Babies and The Devil's Chord. I mean, you could if you wanted to, because it would be like this 1-2 punch of learning about the Doctor and the companion. But I feel each episode can stand on its own, unlike Space Babies. Space Babies. Talking about Space Babies, it's episode 3. We've had some trauma for our 2 leads and got to know them. Now we can send them on a wacky adventure. As an episode, Space Babies is a good bit of fun. Just as a premiere, it's meh. This is Ruby's real introduction to it all. She's starting to settle as a companion and starting to ask more questions. She also earns herself the TARDIS key. It's a wholesome episode that lets us relax but also puts more focus on the Ruby mystery as well. There's not much else to say about this. It's babies and a random creature. It doesn't hold that much importance. Maybe you could argue the introduction scenes feel a bit out of place in episode 3. But to be fair, when they were done in season 1, it was episode 2. And this is only like an episode later. We can just say they haven't had time to slow down. Boom. Halfway through the season, we're settled with our TARDIS duo, and after some talking babies, we need something big. Stephen Moffat's Boom, a great isolated adventure for all involved. Shooty gets some brilliant stuff again. The episode is a nail-biting thrill ride to the end. To be honest, I think Boom can fit most places apart from the premiere, but having it as episode 4 works. Reminds audiences that Doctor Who has a range of tones to it. You can be talking to a snot creature one day, and then attempting to keep your emotions in check as your best friend gets shot dead. In terms of the mystery, you get Susan in there with the Doctor, getting to fully see her, and more snow for Ruby, which means something, I'm guessing.
Well, what are you waiting for?
I don't know, something amazing, I guess.
Me too, kid.
By the time this video releases, I'm guessing I'll know, or you'll know. Who knows? Also, seeing as we're halfway through, thanks for watching this far. Do you agree with every single word as I'm a complete genius? Or you just hate watching and think of ways to insult me in the comments? Let me know. The Devil's Chord. Our original episode 2 becomes episode 5. Kick-starting the second half of the season, another switch up with a musical type of episode with links to the specials. I think that's smart for new audiences that might have missed those 3 episodes. By this point, they'll know if they're fucking with the show, and that callback might make them go back. Ruby's comment about how long they've been together fits better as well, which was just a minor annoyance among the fanbase, which also means there was a fallout over that line for the next week on Twitter. The Ruby plot feels like it ramps up at the right time. I always thought the Doctor or Ruby didn't care enough that she could make it snow, especially with how prominent it is early on. I just think having the ability to make it snow anytime you want is the sort of shit you start to investigate. Having it nearer the finale helps spread that intrigue better. Overall, I just feel The Devil's Chord should be later, as the connections to The One Who Waits, etc. should be saved for the back end of your season. As well as the themes of gods, of music or games, which I believe will connect with Ruby in the finale. Dot and Bubble. The second Doctor Light episode we got. I don't think having 73 yards and Dot back to back is atrocious. I think overall in this season we get plenty of Doctor moments, but I do understand people's points of having those 2 episodes spaced out. The reason I've spaced out is you get another silly episode just before your finale. Gotta let them have some enjoyment watching people addicted to social media with giant slugs going after them. However, the episode still has a lot of important things to say on our connection to social media and its potential dystopian conclusion, especially that final scene, highlighting the racism of Fine Time that was hinted throughout. I think that's a nice scene to end on. I mean, it's not nice. It's disturbing, frustrating feeling that can be carried on into the finale. Also, this is the first time the Doctor and Ruby confirmed they've been seeing Susan Twist all over the place, and I feel a mysterious woman turn up over time and space would also be a thing you would want to get to straight away. So it goes nicely that they question it and then go to get answers the next episode. And seeing as I've now seen The Legend of Ruby Sunday, it feels weird. They just turn up and like, yeah, we want to investigate this person because we got a little bit bored. Dot and Bubble helps fill that gap. The thing is, whilst I like the overall mystery of the season, I'm not liking how it's been paced at the moment. And yeah, that's it. I think I shuffled around every single episode. Not just for the sake of it, but I truly think this is a slightly better structured, maybe slightly is being kind, I actually think this is way better. The mystery unravels itself better, your first impression is stronger, and your Doctor Light episodes aren't as squashed together. Now, if I was really smart, I would have watched the episodes in this order to see what effect it has. But I only thought of that as I'm about to record. Oops. But please, I do mean this is all a matter of opinion. Let me know your thoughts Would you change anything, or does my vision look perfect as it should? Whatever your thoughts, comment them down below, and let's start talking. We've been the Overall Nerds, and peace.